Everybody, how's it going? On popular demand, I have looked for 5 more rare hunter pets that are both not well known and also difficult to obtain. If you haven't watched the first part, you should really check it out afterwards, because they are some of my favorite hunter pets ever to be found. But now let's take a closer look at 5 more. And on spot number 5, we have Hexapos. Hexapos is this great white water strider. He's the only NPC in this color variation, and you can find him in the Dread race in Pandaria. However, there's a reason he's not very well known. He's invisible. You cannot see him unless you detect him with your flare ability. So how do you find him? When wandering around, he will leave footprints on the ground, which will stay for a short while. So basically you just want to follow the route he is walking, which, to be fair, is pretty big, and take a close look on the ground. Once you found the footprints, try to make him invisible with your flare ability, and afterwards use your hunter's mark on him so he can't disappear again. You cannot put him into an ice trap, and when trying to tame him, he will just keep walking, so make sure to stay in front of him and tame away. So despite being around basically all the time, it is still a pet you might never have seen before. After all, it's running around invisibly in a zone nobody has a reason to go back to at any time. Let's be honest here, nobody looks on the ground to find some footprints. I mean, who would think of that? Number 4 on the list goes to the Skitterer. This ghostly spider requires you to do a bit of preparation first. You have to do the Little Scales daycare quest line, up to and including the quest What's a Duck? After that you unlock daily quests in the daycare, and now you have to be lucky to get the daily quest off the page. This quest can take a few days to appear, so make sure to check it out daily so you don't miss it. In this quest you have to summon NPCs and kill them. The NPCs you summon are random and you want Ostilde to appear. But don't kill her, since she will at some point summon a bunch of spiders, which you can then tame. So why is this pet so rare? First of all, most people don't do the daycare dailies, or don't even have them unlocked so far. Then the quest is on a random daily rotation and easy to miss if you don't do the dailies each day. Then the NPC doesn't always spawn and takes a lot of time to summon the spiders. Also the spell can be interrupted with hard CC. Most of the time the mob dies before she can finish the summoning, since it takes her so long to cast the spell. On number 3 of the list we have the OOX-Fleetfoot/MG, also known as the Rocketchicken. In order to obtain this hunter pet you also need to do some preparation first. To be precisely, you need to get the Mechabond input matrix, which can be crafted by engineers and is usually purchasable from the auction house. This item allows you to tame mechanical beasts. Then you also have to do the intro questline for Mechagon, which starts in either Dazar Alor or in Boralos. After doing the introduction to the zone, you can find multiple daily quests in the area, given to you by a large variety of possible quest givers, which are on a daily rotation. You want the NPC Oglethorpe Obnauticus to be around. This NPC is known as the guy who lost the robot chickens from the escort quest back in Vanilla WoW. And apparently, as soon as he steps on the island, he once again loses a chicken. That is OOX-Fleetfoot/MG. So as soon as you can find him on the island, you are able to find the chicken. Since the chicken roams the entire island, you should turn enemy nameplates on and use the command /target OOX-Fleetfoot/MG, and when the Rocketchicken is in your range, you will target him and should be able to get to it without a problem. However, this chicken is not easy to catch. It's running relatively fast and it just keeps running. Also you can't put it into an ice trap. Your best course of action would be to study its movement patterns first. Whenever the chicken runs into a corner, it will stand there for a short time before running away again. This is your chance to tame it. The reason this pet is so rare nowadays is mainly because nobody really pays attention to it. Besides some mounts, you don't have many reasons to go to Mechagon, and if you go for these mounts, you always go to the set locations and don't really check for a running chicken on the ground. Also the list of NPC that visit the island is pretty big, so the chance of Oglethorpe Obnauticus being around is not really high. Additionally to that, the chicken is not even listed as a rare mob, and therefore won't be shown on the minimap. So if you are not specifically there to check for the chicken, the odds are pretty high that you miss it. On spot number 2 we have Treasurewhiskers, this golden little mouse. You might have heard this name before, but nonetheless, it's not easy to get this pet. In the Zerwaldler Caverns, you have a small event called Sniffenseekin, where you and a Niffen called Mirrit are going on a digging trip into a secret cave. If you have reached renown level 9 with a low Niff infection, you will be able to find Treasurewhiskers with Mirrit's sniffing ability. The problem is, Treasurewhiskers has 2 appearances, and in about 95% of the time, it's purple, and only in the other 5% it has its golden color. Also, you can't simply leave a cave and try again. Instead, you have to leave a cave and wait for 30 minutes before going in again. However, this is something not many players are aware of, which might be one of the reasons just a few players have gotten this pet so far. That and the low spawn rate, of course. It also doesn't help that the Zebra caverns are the most boring zone in Dragonflight, and many players probably didn't even reach renown level 9 so far. Like myself before I started looking for this pet. I personally needed 28 tries to get the golden version, making it the most time consuming pet on the list, but definitely not the most annoying one. Which leads us to spot number 1, Deth'tilac. Now some of the veterans among you might be wondering why this pet is on spot number 1. After all, back in Cataclysm, there were many hunters running around with it, and yes, that's true, but getting your hands on this pet nowadays is, well, challenging to say the least. First you need to unlock the Molten Front, which was a daily hub back in Cataclysm. For that you have to quest in the Zone of Hyjal up until the questline Guardians of Hyjal, Call of the Ancients. Then you will get the quest Calling for Reinforcements, which wants you to do some daily quests, so you will spend a couple of days there until you complete it. After that you will unlock the entrance to the Molten Front. Here you can find Deth'tilac, over at this location. The problem is, Deth'tilac has an 8-hour spawn timer, and the timer doesn't start when nobody is in the zone. And basically the only reason to go there is, well, to tame this pet. So either you are alone there and have to wait 8 hours non-stop in the zone until Deth'tilac spawns, or you are there with other hunters who want this pet as well, which makes it ugly. And also, if not a single player is in the zone for more than 15 minutes, all the spawn timers there will reset. So yeah, I have been sitting here for 8 hours straight, couldn't do anything else in the meantime, and all of that for some footage of an 11-year-old hunter pet which I will never use because I don't play hunter. So please, if I could help you in some way or you enjoy my content, leave a sub, that would really mean a lot to me. The next problem is, the pet does not scale up, but it has to be put under 20% HP to become tameable. It has a lot of HP, but if you are on max level, you might still one-shot it, which is a huge bummer after waiting for 8 hours. So my advice for max level hunters is this: use the party sync mechanic with a low level player to get yourself on a lower level. After doing that, this pet still is a challenge to tame. As I said before, it has a lot of HP, however it loses 10% of its maximum health after using its Death Strike ability. Then again, this ability is a one-shot. So the strategy is this: you send in your pet, let it be killed, try to keep Deth'tilac away with some slowing effects, revive your pet and do it again. Keep doing that until you get him under 20% HP and you can tame him. In case you are going there and another hunter is already camping the spot, don't be a jerk and let him take it. After all, that is what you would want as well. And yeah, that's it for today's list. I hope I could help you somehow. If you are interested in more rare hunter pets, make sure to check out the first part which I made over a year ago, and I hope to see you next time. Until then, see ya!